Hey everyone, Zanker's here, and yes, that is me. You finally see what I look like, and you can see around here my gray hair is messing with the green screen behind me, but this is the best we could do right now. I'm going to learn a little bit more about this and make better videos and hopefully entertain you guys. But for right now, we're going to get into a Brawl deck. So I figured since this month's giveaway is Admiral Beckett Brass. We're going to do a Brawl deck tech on her. Before we get into it, comment, like, subscribe, and tell me if you like seeing my face or not. I don't know. Anyway, let's get on to it. Admiral Beckett Brass is a pirate. She's a legendary pirate. She's one generic, blue, black, and a red. So you have access to blue, black, and red. And 3/3, human pirate, and she's a pirate lord, so you get a +1/+1 for other pirates. And at the beginning of your end step, gain control of target non-land permanent controlled by player who was dealt combat damage by 3 or more pirates this turn. Okay, so we're gonna have to get some pirates to do some damage, and then we get control of non-land permanents that other players control. So let's get into it. See what we got. I like to start with the lands first. When we do deck text, just get it out of the way. Um, Start with 4 swamps, 4 mountains, and 7 islands. We'll go with a Field of Ruin. Right now, Field of Ruin from Ixalan is $4.25, which, okay, I saw the spike a couple days ago, weird, but it's tap, add generic to your mana pool, or 2 and tap, sacrifice Field of Ruin, destroy target non-basic land, and each player searches for basic land. So each player, alright, so everybody at the table. So Brawl is like Commander, you have 4 people playing, so everybody gets a basic land. Get some color fixing with the cycle lands from Amonkhet, Faded Pools. And Evolving Wilds, just to search for your lands. If you don't have, just color fixing there. Dragon Skull Summit. Dragon Skull Summit enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a swamp or a mountain. So that will come into play untapped most of the time. Canyon Slow, another cycle land from Amonkhet. It's a swamp and a mountain. And we'll throw in Arch of Araska. It has Ascend and it adds a colorless to your mana pool, or you could pay 5 and draw a card, and you only activate that if you have the City's Blessing. So let's get down to the creatures of this deck. First off, we have Daring Saboteur. It's a 1 generic, 1 blue, 2/1 human pirate, and you could pay 2 in a blue. Daring Saboteur can't be blocked, so that'll get some damage in to activate Admiral Beckett Brass. And whenever Daring Saboteur deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Okay, so then we got Dire Fleet Daredevil. It is one of the more expensive cards in the deck. It's around $8.50 at the time of this filming. Dire Fleet Daredevil, blue and a red. I'm sorry, generic and a red. Generic and red. 2/1 human pirate with first strike, and when he enters the battlefield, you can exile a instant or sorcery card from an opponent's graveyard. You may cast a card this turn, spend mana if it was any color. And if it was put into a graveyard, if it is put into a graveyard, it is exiled instead. So it is the not so great standard version of Snapcaster, because it doesn't have flash. So there you go. Next up, Dire Fleet Poisoner. I love and hate this card. Love it because of what it does. Hate it because it was used against me in the pre-release, Rivals pre-release. So it's another human pirate, 1 generic, 1 black, 2/2 flash with Death Touch. And he comes into play enters the battlefield. Target attacking pirate you control gets +1/+1 and gains Death Touch until end of turn. So you could swing, somebody blocks, put this onto the battlefield, and that creature that was blocked has Death Touch now. So you're going to take out one of theirs. Or on the other turn, while you are being attacked, you could flash this in and destroy one of his creatures that he thought was safe. Next up, Fathom Fleet Captain. It's a 2/1 for 2, one in a black, menace, and whenever he attacks, you could pay. Whenever he attacks, if you control another non-target pirate, which most of the time you will, you pay 2 and you get a 2/2 black pirate with menace. Next up, Karizev Skyship Raider from Aether Revolt. It's a 1 in a red for 1/3, first strike and menace. And when she attacks, you put Ragavan into play attacking 2/1 monkey. Then you exile it and end the turn. The monkey, of course. Kite Sail Freebooter, another 1 in the black for 1/2 flying pirate. I didn't know pirates could fly, but apparently they can. Well, I guess they have to use Kite Sail to do that. Little hand hate there. You enter the battlefield, target opponent reveals the hand, and you choose a non-creature, non-land card from it and exile until Kite Sail Freebooter leaves the battlefield. Next up, Stormfleet Aerialist. I guess another flying pirate. I was wrong. Pirates can't fly. 1/2 for 1 in blue. You raid. It comes into the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter if you attack with a creature this turn. So most of the time it's going to come in as a 2/3. Now we got Captain Lannery Storm, a legendary pirate. For 2 in a red, you get a 2/2 with haste, and whenever she attacks, you create a colorless treasure artifact token. Aren't most artifacts or all artifacts colorless? I don't know if that's extra text they didn't need. Treasure artifact token would have been good. Let me know if there's any colored artifacts. I'm not sure if I know of any. Next up, we have Champion of Wits, a 2 and 1 blue for a 2/1. It's a Naga wizard, so not a pirate, but it's good for card draw. You draw equal to power, so you could draw 2 and discard 2. So it's a little cycling of the hand. Or if you eternalize it, it comes back as a 4/4, so you draw 4 and discard 2. Next up, Forerunner of the Coalition. This is a 2/2 human pirate, 2 in a black, and it is a pirate tutor, basically. So it comes into play, search for another pirate, reveal it, put it in your hand. Put it on top of your library, I'm sorry. And then whenever another pirate enters the battlefield, under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. So we got some AoE damage right there. Next up, Rune Raider. 2 in a black for 3/2, which is nice. And then at the beginning of your turn, at the beginning of your end step, if you attacked with a creature this turn, reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. You lose life equal to the card's converted mana cost. Okay, so it's Dark Confidant type-ish card. Alright. Next up, Sailor of Means. 2 in a blue, you get a 1/4. Nice blocker there. Human pirate. When Sailor of Mean enters the battlefield, create a colorless treasure artifact token. I really want to find out if there's any colored artifacts. Anyway, next up we have Dreamcaller Siren. It's a flying flash, and it's a Siren pirate. 2 and 2 blue for a 3/3 flying flash. Not bad. And can only block creatures with flying. When Dreamcaller Siren enters the battlefield, if you control another pirate, tap up to 2 target non-land permanents. Okay, get some damage through. Next up, it is Hostage Taker. 2, a blue and a black. You get a 2/3 pirate, and you steal something from somebody. Take it hostage. Okay, when hostage taker enters the battlefield, exile target artifact or creature until hostage taker leaves the battlefield. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as those and mana of any color to cast a spell. Like it. That card spiked high when that set first came out. Came down a lot. It's sitting at $3.90 right now, but that was like a hot card for the moment. Next up, we have Dead-Eye Plunderers. 3, a blue and a black. You get a 3/3 human pirate. Dead-Eye Plunderers get +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Okay, there's those colorless treasure tokens come into play. Okay, and you could pay 2, a blue and a black, and create one of those colorless treasure artifacts just to pump them up, I guess, a little bit. All right, we got 1 planeswalker in the deck. We're gonna play Angrath, the Flame Chained. 3 and a black and a red. 4 loyalty. His +1 is each opponent discards a card and loses 2 life. That's a nice +1. +3 is -3. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap it. It gains haste until end of turn. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step if it has converted mana cost 3 or less. So, okay. So if it has 3 or less, you're basically using it, doing some damage with it, and then getting it out of there. But if it has converted mana cost 3 of more than 3, then your opponent gets it back. And its ultimate, his ultimate, is each opponent loses life equal to the number of cards in his or her graveyard. Okay, that could do some serious damage later on in the game when you're going to be playing that. Spells, we have Opt, of course. Opt is a instant for 1 blue. Scry 1, draw a card. Always love card draw. Charter Course, another card, draw a card. Card, draw, card. Okay, whatever. Draw 2 cards, then discard a card unless you attack with a creature this turn. So you're always gonna, most of the time, gonna play this after you attack, so you don't have to discard. We got Pull from Tomorrow, X, blue, instant, and draw X cards, and then discard a card. Got some removal, non-merfolk removal, Walk the Plank, 2 black, and destroy target merfolk creature. It's a sorcery though, so it's a little slow. Some counters, you got Disallow, 1 blue, counter target spell, activate ability, or triggered ability. Next up, we have another sorcery, 1 blue and a blue, Ascend, draw 2 cards. If you have the City's Blessing, draw 3 cards. That's pretty nice. Glimmer of Genius, scry 2, draw 2 cards for 4. You get 2 energy, but that doesn't matter with this deck. You're not really using energy. This card, I was a little confused on how the rules for this is going to be. You know that Brawl does not have a sideboard, so Mastermind's Acquisition, 2 and 2 black. Choose 1, search your library for a card, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. You can use it as a tutor for anything you want. But the second ability is choose a card you own from outside the game and put it into your hand. So we got to find out what the ruling is for that. I haven't read up on it yet. Maybe you guys could let me know. We've got Pirate's Pillage, 3 and a red, sorcery. As an additional cost to cast Pirate's Pillage, discard a card. You get to draw 2 cards and create 2 treasure artifacts. So you're going to pump up Dead-Eye Plunderers with this card. Pirate's Prize, sorcery, 3 and a blue. Draw 2 cards, create a colorless treasure token. So there you go, there's more card draw and more artifact creation. The most expensive card in the deck is Vraska's Contempt. 2 colorless, 2 black. Exile target creature or planeswalker. You gain 2 life. So this gets around indestructible, and it gets the planeswalkers off the board, and a little Life gain can't hurt. Spell Swindle, 3 and 2 blue. Instant counter target spell. Create X colorless treasure artifact tokens. That's so wordy. Where X is the spell's converted mana cost. And then we have Brass's Bounty. If we're going to be playing Admiral Beckett Brass, you gotta have a bounty. For each land you control, create one of those artifact tokens, treasures, for 7. A little expensive, but you're gonna pump up Deadeye Plunderers pretty well. Here's the artifacts we'll be playing in the deck. It is a Prying Blade. It's a 1-cost artifact. Equipped creature gets +1/+0. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure, and it has equipped for 2. Pillar of Origins. As Pillar of Origins enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Spend this mana only to cast creatures of pirates, of course, because you're going to name pirates. Thematic Compass. Okay, 3. It's a 2-cost, but for 3 and tap it, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your library. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 7 or more lands, transform the compass. And transforms into Spires of Oraska. Tap, add generic to your mana pool, or untap target attacking creature an opponent controls and remove it from combat. Get out of here. Remove it. We've got Treasure Map. 2-cost. Pay 1 and tap it. Scry 1. Put a landmark. And when it has 3, you can remove these counters, transform it, and create 3 colorless treasure tokens. And it transforms into Treasure Cove. Add a colorless or tap to sacrifice a treasure and draw a card. So you can use those treasure artifacts for mana or card draw. Well, once a turn with this, but card draw is always good. Now we got a what is pirates without their ship? Fell Flagship. 3 cost. It's an artifact vehicle. It's a 3/3. When it is crewed for 3. Pirates you control get +1/+0, so that's a good plus right there. And whenever Fell Flagship deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card. And our last artifact is the Immortal Sun. For 6, you're getting a legendary artifact. Players can't activate Planeswalker's loyalty abilities, and at the beginning of your draw step, draw an additional card. Spells you cast cost 1 less, and creatures you control get +1/+1. So we get that out. It is awesome. It is the Immortal Sun. We have a few more cards left. We got enchantments now. First enchantment we're going to use is Mechanized Production. 2 colorless, 2 blue. It's an aura. Enchant artifact you control. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's a copy of enchanted artifact. Then, if you control 8 or more artifacts with the same name as one other, you win the game. Okay, so basically you win the game if you have 8 treasure tokens out, right? Because they are artifacts with the same name, so we're gonna win without attacking right there. Storm the Vault. It is one of the flip cards from Rivals. We have 2, a blue and a red. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deals combat damage to a player, create one of those treasure artifact tokens. And then at the beginning of your end step, if you control 5 or more artifacts, transform it and tap to add blue mana for each artifact you control. Pretty good. Okay. Revel in Riches is our last card. Revel in Riches, 4 and a black. Enchantment. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, create a colorless treasure artifact token. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 10 or more treasures, you win the game. So, you see what we're getting at here. Bunch of pirates, fighting and flying over and all that while we're plundering treasure. And once we get enough treasure, we win the game. that's how it works, right? Pirates, and then as they would say, we get to drink the rum because the rum's not gone. The rum's not always gone. Anyway, that is first Brawl tech deck tech, and I hope you liked seeing my ugly mug. But you'll see more of it because I spent some money on this green screen back here. So if I don't use it, I'll feel bad, and my wife will yell at me. Anyway, remember to like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments if there is any colored artifacts out there, or they just printed that to make me stumble over words while I'm reading them. And remember to subscribe, and as always, may your packs be spicy.